So, hi everybody, hope it's a wonderful day today. And I'd like to talk about something which is, I think, in these days very important to us guitarists. In the past we have been in the world, I've been playing for lots of years. And if you wanted to have a good instrument, I'm talking about guitars specifically, you had to spend lots of money. A good instrument was not cheap. Cheap instruments were almost impossible to play, and they were usually not good. So today I think is different, and I want to talk to you about one guitar in particular I happened to buy a couple of years ago now, and compare it to a similar instrument, which is on the contrary very expensive and very nice. So, what I'm talking about? Well, a couple of years ago, I read and I had, you know, sold my Les Paul. I had a Gibson Les Paul, and I sold it because I don't know. I just couldn't bond with it. Possibly because it was not a good Les Paul. I don't know. They are very different in standards, So it's clearly possible. But then I was looking for something, not really expensive, but that could give me that kind of guitar, so that if I had to record a part or make a job with a Les Paul type instrument, I had that sound. And I read an ad with, this this very guitar. This is a Harley Benton SC550. Tobacco burst something, I don't know. And I paid 180 euros for this guitar with a case. Not with a gig bag, but with a case. So it's really, really cheap. I bought it used. As you can see, I covered the name on the headstock, not because it's a cheap guitar, but because I really can't stand how it sounds. It's horrible to me. I don't want to read it. So I cover it up. I don't know if it makes any sense anyway. This guitar came to me with several flaws. And I think there are flaws depending on the price of this guitar, which were specifically, most importantly, the pickups, which I swapped. I'm going to tell you in a minute. Pickups were awful. They were, dull sounding, no highs, no dynamics. It's just, they were impossible to play. So I just played with it a little, but I did really not like the pickups. I tried everything. I tried, several amps, several plugins, modelers, etc. But the guitar was really always dull sounding. The second thing I really don't like is the fretboard, which is sort of, I think it's maple, but it's sort of carbonized. I don't know what it is. And then there were electronics. Electronics were really cheap, really, really cheap. It had small alpha pods, which is common, but I found they were not really responding. So you had volume which went from 0 to the maximum just in a small movement. And the same thing for the tom pods. Tuners, I didn't change them. They are Grover type tuners with tulip heads, and well, okay, they're fine. Not amazing, but I didn't feel any need to change it. I the nut is bone, so they say on the specs. It's got a nice binding, a plastic binding around the fretboard, and the stop tail and the stop tail and the actual tunematic bridge. I don't know which material they are. I don't think they're top quality. They could be swapped also, but I'd like to hear this acoustic. I hope you can hear it. Oh, baby. Sorry. So, as you can notice, I top wrapped the strings to have a bit of not so harsh angle and to have a little bit more playability. But in this configuration, I feel like the angle is too straight. So I will have to find another combination of the tailpiece height and the bridge height to make it a little bit more steep as an angle. And other than that, I swapped the electronics, putting Emerson pots and orange drop capacitors in it. And this is a DiMarzio 36th Anniversary PAF on the bridge. And this is a Seymour Duncan APH2, so an Alnico II Pro in the neck position. And we will compare it with this. Okay, so this is, you have already seen it, this is a Paul Reed Smith SC245 with 5815 pickups in it, which is an amazing instrument. And as you may hear, it's even acoustically, it's very it's louder, and it's full frequency when compared to the Harley Benton, and which is, I think, natural, because it costs, let's say, 20 times more. Okay, let's say something like this, but it's rough, but it's there. Of course, it's got all top quality components and top quality woods and anything amazing tuners, amazing bridge with brass saddles and brass stuff going on everywhere. So it's amazing, but awesome guitar. And you can finally hear it even acoustically. It's just I don't think that you can really find a defect on this guitar. It's awesome, but I think it's nice because pickups and electronics on the Harley Benton guitar alone costed more than the guitar itself. Not much more, but more. So we have more or less 400 euros guitar versus a 3,000 euros guitar. So it's 3 times more or less. Let's see how they stack together, and let's see if guys who start playing in these days can actually have a very good experience with cheap instruments, maybe making some investments in electronics, and by the way, I can tell you right now that I would have no problem laying a part in a studio with the Harley Benton with the upgraded electronics, because it actually plays and feels like a Les Paul. It's not, of course, and I'm not claiming it is, but if you have to, record the part which have that tone characteristics, it's amazing. It's just, you know, you will not distinguish it. Okay, so let's dig into it. Let's play some crunchy and clean stuff with the Harley Benton SC550 and with the Singlecut, the Paul Reed Smith Singlecut SC245. Let's dig in. And by the way, of course, this is, while you play it, it's just another thing. It's not comparable to the experience you get on the Harley Benton. This feels like, I don't know, this feels like home, the neck, the fretboard, the frets, the way your arm rests on the guitar, the way you grab the guitar, the way it feels against your body, even if because it's got a comfort actually, but it really feels quality. This is a single piece of mahogany on the back, and a hard flame maple top. There is a three-piece mahogany body, and of course the top is a veneer, but it's on maple, so it's got a top maple with a veneer. But it's just another feeling of I don't know how to say. You can actually perceive, you can actually feel the quality. But other than that, I think it stands up quite well. So I don't feel like this is amazing and the Harley Benton is crap with the upgraded electronics. Let's hear something else. Let's switch back to the crunch channel. So let's try this. Let's try this most iconic riff from both the guitar, just to close the comparison. It's on the neck pickup, and I got it all open. I'm using for all this sound the Line 6 Helix in the 3.1 software. The clean was a Twin Reverb model, and the crunch is a Plexi model. Both of them with red wired IRs. So, I think it stands up in a nice way. Sorry for the sloppy playing, but this is just, something I decided to do on the moment because I felt like, I was playing this thing because I already installed the Emerson pots and the orange drop capacitors in it. And by the way, pots make a great difference because it's not true. I always hear things like better pots will not make your guitar sound better. That's not true, and that's for a reason. I bought Emerson pots because I read it on the internet that they were, very hard spec, and they are, if they say 500 key pots, they actually are 500 keys. Most potentiometers are not 250 kiloohms, are not 500 kiloohms, but are less, say 470, 460, even 450. So they can have a range of 50 kiloohms difference. Okay, those 50 kiloohms actually let your pickups breathe a little bit more. So it's not about using them, it's about it if they are actually very hard spec, they then will let more top end pass through, and your pickups will breathe better. I've been amazed with these Emerson pots. I have measured them, I compared them with Fender pots, with standard CTS pots, and with Alpha pots even, which are surprisingly higher in kiloohms often than the CTS ones. So Emerson pots are amazing, and I'm going to install it in my guitars because they are, if they say 500 kiloohms, they are 500 kiloohms, 500 kiloohms, and if I say 250, they are 250 and not less. And this is important because it will let highs pass through better. So since sorry for all this, talking, but just came to my mind, and I wanted to spread this with you. Given that I have just installed them, I played it for a little bit, and after a while, and I thought, well, this is not bad. This is not bad even acoustic. If I play it acoustic, it really reminds me of Les Paul. I'm not telling it as good as a Gibson, or I don't know, as good as an Epiphone, I don't know. But it's good. It's, you can find one for 200 euros. If you buy it new, I think it's 250. And if you are lucky, since it's Chinese or, very far Eastern electronics, you may even find one with actually good pickups, which was not my case. I had to swap them. Then, of course, the PRS is the PRS. It's totally in another league. It was not comparing them for, see which sounded better or fuller or, more sparkling, because this is not a fair challenge. But it was about to see as a cheap guitar with just a few adjustments. If I had to buy a better bridge, a Tom Pro's bridge, say, this would become even better. You could really not distinguish it from the real thing, because the woods are the same, pickups are, pretty high-end, and hardware, it's pretty high-end. Of course, PRS is the whole, it's not the quality of the single parts, but it's the quality of the single parts which is stellar. Of course, assembled with amazing craftsmanship. So it's just impossible for this guitar not to beat, I think, possibly everything in the single cut realm. Not all, of course, but it's really, really amazing. I've played a lot of Les Pauls in my life. I've been lucky enough to play a lot of them, and they are wonderful, but they are, you know, let's put it this way, I will not buy a Gibson Les Paul, especially a very pricey one, on the internet without having the possibility to try it first very, very well. With the PRS, you don't have this problem. They are, you know, quality-wise, amazing, which you would expect when you buy an instrument and you pay 300 and, you know, and 350 and 500 euros or dollars or whatever, or 400 or 4,000, sorry, 3,500, 4,000, 5,000, even 6 and 8, because there are some Les Pauls which are, you know, really, really expensive. And the Paul Reed Smiths also, even if you don't go on the private stock level, if you buy a 5K PRS on the internet, you will receive a guitar which will play straight away, in an amazing way. If you like the guitar, of course. You may not like it. You will not able to do the same with Gibson. So, at least up to now, maybe things will change now that we have this Murphy Labs and stuff like this. So that's all for today. I just wanted to, you know, to make a not fair comparison, but I think a very cheap guitar with some mods, with some upgrades, stood up incredibly well with a very expensive guitar. I don't know, I'd like to think what other people thinks about it. I'd like to know what other people thinks about it, and so if you want to let me know, I will of course appreciate it. Other than that, have a very wonderful day. Bye, cheers.